Hey, everybody, welcome back to What Are You Chasing? Today, I have a bonus episode for you. We just wrapped up the mini series on self doubt and lack of confidence. And I'm going to be starting a new one on feeling stuck and lack of motivation. And I thought of this bonus episode to do to tie the two together, and I just knew the perfect coach for that. And the perfect coach for that is Joanne Lee Smith. Hi, Joanne.
Hello, hi. Oh, thank you for thinking of me for the perfect coach for
Absolutely.
this. The motivation.
Yeah.
I, I was once nicknamed when I was nursing on the ward. They used to call me the Mrs. Motivator on a night shift. So there
Look
must
at
have been a
that.
reason where that came from.
I love it. I just, with your story, and the chronic pain, for anybody who's watched the previous episode with you in it, and just, you had every chance to give into any of those topics from, self-doubt and having a lack of confidence to like feeling stuck and not motivated to do anything. I think a lot of people with chronic pain probably, and even people without it can, relate to the whole feeling stuck and the self-doubt. So yeah, I think you're perfect.
Yeah, oh, yeah. A lot of those things do they do it does hit me when I think about that because it does bring me back to the times where I was probably in the deep of it, where I was literally, I would have been, I couldn't eat, I didn't even feel as though I'd had any sleep in the night. And I'd been up and down in the cold shower, on the cold floor, doing everything I can to handle pain. And then when it was time to get up, the alarm clock goes, I'm like, how am I even going to move? I'm just so in so much pain and so stiff. And I used to do a wipe the windows thing where I'd like pretend I'd clean the windows even though they were very clean just to get moving. And so yeah, it does ring home because there were times where I just didn't want to even even get on with the day. And fortunately I did have young children and that was always a reason to have to get on with the day.
Yeah.
Um and I'll just like quickly fill you in on like what brought me to a point of having chronic pain and chronic symptoms.
Yes.
Um, Took me right back to 2008, and I'll do a snapshot. Won't make it a long story, but I was in a car accident and I got twisted and I had a head injury, and following that I developed chronic neck pain, and that went on and on and on, and it never seemed to settle, and then it became lower back pain and then a leg pain and then lots of other just in general it just became many other symptoms, and it was always a mystery. And I ended up being under the care of the chronic pain team for a lot of years. When I say a lot of years, I mean, I think it was 3 years into the journey when I finally went to the doctors and said, something's not budging. I've done everything I can to keep moving and keep going. Being a nurse and being a student health visitor at the time, I knew I got to get back straight to work, no time off, don't stop, get moving. This is how we improve,
Yeah.
this is what you need to do for whiplash or whatever it might be. And I'd done that and I'd done everything I could, but yet no success with recovery. So yeah, a lot of years into the journey, and it was probably about 5 years into the journey that I did get really motivated. So I'd always continued despite the doubt, despite the am I doing more damage? Is this making things worse? Um, but basically in 2018, so actually that was the no, well 2013, sorry, 2013. Yeah, it was 5 years on, and I really thought, come on now, get the real Mrs. Motivator back, the person that you were before. And I'd done everything anyway, but that's when I thought, right, we're gonna get running. I'm gonna start running, and and um and I'd had some surgery, and I knew I had a 3 month. They said, oh, it's going to take you probably about 3 months to recover from this surgery, and it didn't really take 3 months. I think they were being over careful there because it was a pregnancy related hernia, umbilical hernia, and I had that done and fixed, and I was like, now I can definitely, because I'd tried numerous times, me being me, and digging deep and being like, right, I'm gonna run again. But every time I tried, it got really sore, and I couldn't really do that. So I was like, I'd cycle instead, or I'd do other things, Zumba. I'd do anything instead. But I was like, I'm gonna get running, and I joined a beginners program 3 months after having that done, and again, I remained consistent and motivated, and it was tough because despite the symptoms not budging and not getting only really getting a little bit of temporary relief during the activity itself, and then coming back and then feeling as though I've paid for that, which is sad really to look back and think I paid for it from doing that, but something kept me going. There was some drive within me to be like, this is good for you. You're gonna keep going, keep doing this. So I never quit with that. And it was a gradual build up, like a really gradual build up, because when I see people now and I see how quickly they can get from being a beginner to doing a marathon, I think, wow, that's pretty incredible how quickly. But then I always say to myself, they're not dealing with mind body symptoms or chronic pain. And I didn't know at the time the root cause coming from a hypervigilant nervous system, or we can really break it down to three principles here, and the power of thought, literally the thoughts that I was having that were keeping the pain alive and keeping it going, and all of those expectations. So I'm amazed by what other people are able to achieve, and I look back and I think I can only admire my own journey now in hindsight when I look back, and I think you persisted and you remained motivated somehow, not knowing what was happening, not knowing the cause, being sent away many times from doctors. We can do this, we can do that, we can give you these injections and radio frequency treatments and nerve ablations and painful procedures, but still not really knowing and thinking it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me that I can go out and run, but yet I can't lay down in bed comfortably or sit down and eat a meal. And I never knew why it didn't make sense until 2018, when I had the second big insight during some coaching training, when I really realised the power of thinking, and I noticed in that moment, this is my thinking. I'm literally, and I went from, so like I said, I started running in 2013 as a complete, like, felt like I'm a complete beginner. Yeah, I'd done bits in the past before the car accident, but never done 5Ks or 10Ks or half marathons. And I'd managed to get through pure determination and just just really forcing myself in a way to get to half a marathon. And I never for 1 minute believed it would be possible for me to do more than that, because I'd end up so wiped out I'd be in bed all day. And then in that one session that I drove away from with the biggest smile and the biggest knowing, with just that one change in thinking, this is my thinking, and I can do a marathon now. And I literally flipped a switch, and I went from struggling like mad to do that to doing the marathon 4 months afterwards, which was amazing really when I look back on it. And that was a massive moment for me. And it was like a knowing as well. I didn't even know how I was going to do it or what needed to happen to get there, but I just knew that I could do it. And it was just that one
I love it.
eye-opening moment with just a little. And the person that was leading the exercise, it was a thinking exercise that we were doing. I don't really think they realised how powerful it was. And it appeared I was the only person in the session that had this big exciting moment. And I'm looking around at everyone thinking, how come everyone else is not like jumping with joy? But I really did. And it was just the moment where I was like, I never connected thought with any of this. I just didn't. But yeah, that was a good moment.
I love it. I love it because yeah, connecting the thought, like self-doubt, right? It's just a thought in motion, right? That we're feeding with our thinking. It's not actually a fixed reality, but it looks so real. And so, yeah, like you said, you had that time where, you know, you wouldn't even have considered the fact that you could run a marathon.
I I didn't believe I could.
Yeah.
I
And now,
honestly,
I mean, the marathons like that you do. I love the pictures I saw of the one you did on skates.
oh yeah, a couple of weeks ago I did speed skating. That was my first time ever doing that. I've never done anything like that before.
So cool.
Yeah, it was so good. It was really, really good fun. I really enjoyed that. Yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah, it's
just
crazy.
it's unbelievable because for a lot of people, and this can go in so many directions. I know we're talking about, you and your chronic pain and not thinking that certain things were possible, you know, um, this applies to people as well, feeling stuck in just life in general.
Everything.
And
Yeah,
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 and that it's not a fact. Being feeling stuck is it's not a fact. It's a temporary experience that we're creating. And like you said, that wonderful class that you took about thinking, it's a temporary experience that we're creating via our thinking. And I love that class that you took, and I love that because it wasn't even a principal's class.
yeah. It
And
was a solution focused coaching training.
yeah,
Yeah,
and you had that massive insight of your thinking and
yeah. It
how
was
that was
yeah, it
holding
was
you
a
back.
model
So
called the thinking. The model was called the thinking effectiveness model. That was the name of the model. So it was all about how thinking splits into four areas.
yeah,
And I imagined it like like the car and Audi has them four circles,
yeah,
but they put them in overlapping each other,
mm-hmm.
and then they just split thinking into four types. And during doing the exercise, I was putting ticks in a box to say, is this part of my thinking helpful or is it hindering? And then we moved on. Is this part of it helpful? And I just ticked hindering for everything. And in that moment, I was like, boom, that's what's happening. It's
Yeah,
it's all my thinking, and I'm literally causing myself so much harm with these thoughts that I'm having that my future's going to be continuous. I'm going to be suffering forever. I'm going to be having to ease my way to movement on a morning. I'm not going to sleep ever again nicely. And it was just every area of my thoughts. I was like, this is where it's coming from. This is what, and I just like in that moment, and it didn't fix things instantaneously. It didn't fix the symptoms or the pain didn't just vanish in that moment, but my ability to do things despite those went from already being quite relatively good to being you could even go with exponential because it really went from battling to get to half a marathon and thinking I'm never doing that ever again and being in bed all afternoon to doing the marathon 4 months after to doing an ultra marathon the following year to doing a 50 miles ultra marathon to doing 100-mile ultra marathons, which I never realised was a big achievement until I got to know other ultra runners. And they'd been going for years and years and years trying to get to that benchmark. And I
oh,
just on the back of my moment of insight about how purely just my thinking is is like leading the show to
mm-hmm.
being able to do those things that others had I didn't realize it was a big achievement at the time until I got to know the people that were doing it. And then I got and it sounds right, it's a shame really because I got to know other people that have not been able to complete it or they've attempted it so many times but still not achieved it. I'm like, please have mine because I'd love them to be able to achieve that too. But I guess what I've noticed in ultra running is the people that do achieve that have had this moment too, in their own way, their own version of it. And
Right.
they're able to really see the connections of how the mind really works. And yeah, it can be really helpful for mindset and being more motivated when you truly understand what you're experiencing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, part of me, motivation to me, right, comes from inside of us, right? At least this is how I view motivation. I don't view it as something external that, we have motivation inside of us and
Hmm.
it will naturally resurface on its own as our mind clears and the thoughts settle and the space is created for new thinking, new thoughts to come through. And
Yeah,
it opens up space, it opens up the space, not, just for the confidence like we talked about in the last one, but it also opens up that space for the motivation that people feel like they just don't have it. There's so many people, and I'm sure you probably hear people say this too. Well, I don't have any motivation.
yeah, yeah. They don't know what they want. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want to be in life. I don't know. I don't want anything. I have one of my best friends. I have so many conversations with her, and I know one day she will get quiet enough to hear something for herself. And
Right.
she's the same. She's like, I don't enjoy anything. I don't enjoy. And then she's constantly saying, I need to join the gym. I need to join the gym. I need to. And I'm like, do you want to join the gym? Do you like the gym? No. No, I don't like
Right.
the gym. And I'm like, well, don't give yourself a hard time and be so judgy of yourself and be a bit kinder on yourself and don't listen to those stinky thinking, those thoughts,
I
don't
love
listen
that.
to them. So yeah, it's such a common issue for so many people. And a lot of people reach out to me and they're like, I'm lacking in motivation. That's a big, big issue. I've just not got the motivation. I've got this big event that I've signed up for, but I just can't get out. I just don't want to get out and go for a run. And for me, I've just followed such a different journey to what many other like long distance runners followed. Like I've never had a training plan. I've never I've never been like I've got to go out and do so many miles at so and so pace. Like I've just never had a strict. I've just kind of gone with whatever I feel like doing next, whatever the invite. I joke because people say, what have you got? What's your next big thing?" And I'm like, "I don't know where it is. I'll just see what I get invited for." And this weekend, I got invited to do an 18-mile trail run across the. It's called Hebden Bridge, and it was just like nice moors and hills, and I had no plan. It was just that was what we planned that week,
Yeah.
and I didn't even have a watch. I didn't even. I once got accused of being a fraudster because I'm not on Strava. Because they say like a lot of runners are on Strava. Someone says, "Oh, you can't be a real runner if you're not on Strava. You must be pretend." I'm like, no, I just don't have Strava.
Right.
I, I don't wear my watch all the time. I don't clock everything. I don't need to.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never followed a pattern or a training program or a special diet or anything. Um, I mean, on my first 100-mile ultra, this is quite crazy, and actually, because a lot of people are like, "Well, did you not have electrolytes?" What people take when they're like sweating a lot, and they're like, "Did you not have any energy bars?" Or I was like, "No, I just ate like little jam sandwiches and a little sausage roll and just some snacks and water, just plain water."
Yeah.
And I didn't have any electrolytes or anything like extra salts or anything. I just keep drinking, keep eating. I made up a fun thing. I called it the four principles. If I can remember it. Let me remember what it was. Keep eating,
Mhm.
keep drinking, keep smiling, keep moving. That
Love it.
was the four principles to running an ultra marathon. Or being motivated. I guess we could use that for the same thing. You just
Absolutely.
you just gotta keep eating, keep drinking, keep moving, and keep smiling.
That's right. That's
But maybe we
right.
could have another one on ignore ignore the stinky thinking. Because
Yeah.
Because it's
I
going to
like
come
that.
in, it's going to creep in. You're going to get those doubts. You're going to get those, I don't want to do this. You're going to get those, that feels too big. I'm really not feeling that right now. Um,
Yeah.
do it anyway. Just do it despite, because I have never
Yeah.
once regretted going out on a run.
Tell
Um,
that anyway. Just do it
no matter
anyway.
what, I've never gone, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Even though beforehand I had them thoughts saying, don't do it today, stay in bed, don't do it. But I ignored them because I know that I don't need to take them seriously. They're just doing the best to keep me where maybe they think that I'm safe.
Yeah. That's a great point.
Yeah,
That's a great point. Yeah, unconsciously, right? Our unconsciously, just our unconscious mind trying to keep us what it thinks is safe. Yeah. And so then ego has, I love how you call them stinky thinking, gives you that stinky thinking. And we buy it. We believe it. We think that they're, yeah, no, it's better for me to just stay in bed today because I am not going to accomplish X, Y, and Z. And we're literally telling ourselves a story
yeah,
and listening to it as if it's so true. And we do it in so many aspects of life. But
yeah,
I am positive that there are times in my life where I thought, I just would rather stay in bed all day. I don't want to
yeah,
deal with the outside world. I'm just going to stay right here in my cozy little bed and feel safe. And,
yeah, yeah.
you know,
I
obviously
think
years
it's
ago, but
yeah, and I always think it's fine if that's what you want, and then you're not going to dwell on it afterwards, and then beat yourself up and go harsh and start blaming yourself. I shouldn't have done that. Then
yes.
if if on occasions there's been occasions where I've been like, I'm going to go for an afternoon nap. I just want to go get my head down for a few hours. And
Yeah.
I've done that recently and I felt brilliant. I've really enjoyed it. And I've just been like, no judgment. That was lovely. I really enjoyed having that lay down. I've put an audio on and maybe listened to something and then drifted off asleep. And
Yep.
oh, it's been so nice.
You're
And
talking to the queen of naps. I
yeah,
love just to, if I'm feeling it, okay, if I'm feeling it in my body,
yeah,
I do. I go take afternoon naps all the time.
yeah.
Absolutely.
There's
I
nothing
take
wrong
them
with
more often than I don't.
it.
And
I
I do. I
really
put
like.
on some nice meditative, soft like music and I just nap and allow myself to nap for if my body wants to do it for an hour or 2 hours or whatever
Yeah,
it is. It's usually, that timeline.
yeah.
Then that's what I
I
do.
do the same. I do the same.
I love it
And
because,
I
yeah,
think
I honor.
if you do it like with no judgment and no blaming, like saying I shouldn't have done that, then you're going to be more motivated in general anyway. You're just going
Yeah.
to feel better about yourself,
Mhm. Yeah,
better better moods, better thoughts, better mindset. It's all connected, isn't it? And I think
absolutely.
that were another big thing for me, that how harshly I used to be judging myself so harshly. I'd expect that I should be able to do more and I should be able to. I don't know where it came from, but it doesn't
Right.
really matter where it came from. It was just my personality type.
Hmm.
And I've got a lot better at being kind on myself. Being
Yeah.
kind on myself.
I love that because we're not, like you said, we're so judgmental of ourselves. Like, we're so mean to ourselves and our self talk and our inner dialogue and ego and whatever word you want to put on it. It's just, oh, we can really be downright dirty to ourselves. Just so I
Yeah,
know the things that I get what you're saying because I was the same way. I was really mean to myself and I don't know where it
yeah,
came from. And I right now I don't care anymore where it came from because it doesn't come,
yeah.
I might have one of those thoughts that might come in now and say something judgy and I'm just like, "Pff,
I'll have a laugh at it.
get out of here. I'm not listening to that.
Yeah,
Um, but until we have seen for ourselves and we see the power of thought and how we can get caught in those negative feedback loops and those negative thought patterns that keep us just stuck, right? That feeling of stuck and that feeling of hearing in your head, well, you can't do it. It's not possible. Not especially not for you, right? We definitely personalize that
Yeah,
negative talk to ourselves and say, "Oh yeah, definitely, definitely not me. There's no way."
yeah, and we can't. I mean, when we're doing that, we're like abusing ourselves to that extent, and then we're expecting us to have this uh, amazing level of motivation, and it's no wonder we don't feel motivated and have that mindset of get up and go when, if that's what's happening in the background, whether it's unconscious or whether you're aware of it or not. It's
Right.
crazy. I was doing a session with someone this afternoon who's got a job interview on Monday, and we were talking about similar things really because she was already expecting it not to go well. She's already expecting that. Why did they pick me? Why would they pick someone who don't have the relevant experience? I'm shocked that I even got the invite. And those automatic thoughts that were cropping up of expecting the worst and
Mm-hmm.
expecting things not to go well. And that, I think for me, that was where I was at before I had my big shift. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden I was able to flip everything like a pancake and be
Love it.
like, well, if I can do that, then I can expect the opposite. I can expect that I can do more and that it will go well and that I am as good as other people and that I'm not good enough and all these things about that might crop up. Because because what I learned when I got into the mind body world and learning from the Dr. Sarno books and all the
Mm-hmm.
other doctors was that my personality style ticks all the boxes for the people that do tend to get neuroplastic pain, they call it as well, perceived danger pain. There's so many ways of naming it. And it's really having that people pleasing mindset. Those sort of personality traits have been highly driven to succeed and being highly self critical. And a lot of those things that I was like, I could see all of that in me, all of
Yeah.
those things. I was like, yeah, that is me. That is my personality style to a T. Um, not not like giving yourself a break, really. Just
Right.
go, 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 go. And yeah, like I was just thinking about this because when how it connects with being motivated,
Yeah.
then um, it for me it was just such a fake front, like forcing myself to do these things because of that. But I didn't know that I could still do all that same thing, but with a lot more ease.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I discovered three principles of mind body connection. And now I
Mm-hmm.
can still do all of those same things, but just with so much more ease and
Yeah.
enjoyment. Because how I described it was like um, it was like I was kind of staying in a boxing ring. Um, and then I realised that the longer I stay in this boxing ring, I'm just going to keep on getting hit.
I
And
love that.
that's how I imagine like the pain and the symptoms that kept happening.
Yeah.
When I actually saw it for what it was and backed away slightly and realised that I can still do all of these things, but there's also hope that for recovery, because I always had this other belief, the thoughts that were saying this is forever, this is permanent, because that's what I've been told by medical professionals,
Right.
that this is incurable. Then that change in thought didn't just happen spontaneously. That came by getting new information and hearing about that through Dr. Sarno and other things. But because again, it's still evidence of changing thinking, changing thought,
Yeah.
changing outcome. Because when I had that when I had that new information, that's when all of my pains started to just gradually, one by one, they were going out, disappearing.
I
And the
love it.
first one that disappeared was my lower leg pain, which I'd had for years and years, just chronic. And that was fully disappeared. And bit by bit, my neck didn't bother me, my jaw, my eyes. the eye pain I'd been having, dry eyes, things like this, migraines completely settled. So it was like incredible, really, because I always keep going back to keeping it simple, and I do, but
Yeah.
genuinely, I believe it is all coming from our thought, thinking.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
I
it's really
agree.
difficult to articulate that across and share that with people when they're deep in it. Um,
Yeah.
so that how I see it is having an infinite patience for this, because what I've noticed with some of the clients I've been working with it in this world of TMS, I'm calling it something different every time because tension myositis syndrome is what Dr. Sarno called it, mind body
Yeah.
syndrome, TMS, is that many of those clients they've worked with so many professionals, and they've been told we can't help you. We can't help you. They've
Yeah.
lost patience in them, and they're like, if you're not listening, you're not getting this. I can't help you. Can't help you. And there's this one guy that I'm working with right now, and he's seen over 60 specialists,
Wow.
psychiatrists, psychologists, um, medical specialists, and he's burning mouth syndrome and nasty taste. So when he eats, everything tastes yucky, everything tastes off, or and he's been going on with this for over 3 years, and he says that I'm the only one person in the world now that he believes that is able to help him right now, and I'm just like, he's like, everyone else gave up on me, but
Oh,
but I just know that he only needs that one moment, that one.
that one new thought.
Yeah, we've been meeting weekly at the minute, but we're going to meet in September and we're going to do 3 days, like a 3 days together intensives. And
Yes.
I feel like that might be really helpful for him.
Yeah. I love
Yeah,
that.
that's the plan there. But I do know that he is able to fully recover from what he's got going on.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
that's the thing when we go to these experts, right? Our medical professionals and our doctors and the experts in their fields and all the different, psychology experts and all that stuff who say, well, there's no cure. And you hear it over and over again, and you're hearing it from people who, well, yeah, they went to school X amount of years and they studied this and they specialized in it. And if they're telling me there's no cure, well, then
yeah,
that must be truth.
yeah,
And we innocently accept those things. We innocently accept those as okay, well, then for a lot of people, I give up, right? I don't think, wow, for the guy that you're working with now to see 60
yeah. I couldn't
different.
believe it. I was like, "Are you sure you've seen that many?" He's like, "You counted all of them." I was like, How did he even keep count?" But he's seen so many. He's been admitted into the mental hospital on occasions, and nobody's been able to help him. And I'm just really excited for his future because
Yeah.
I'm just being really patient. And
Yeah.
it didn't used to be in my nature to be patient. and now
Oh,
I
mine
say
either.
and now I say infinite. I love the infinity sign because when I'm doing my hula hooping, I always spin them like an infinity, and I'll
Mhm.
say infinite patience
Yeah.
because it does help. But yeah, I'm quite excited for you know, for his journey.
I-
Um, and it really is a privilege to use three principles coaching in this world of chronic pain and chronic symptoms. Because
Yeah.
like I say, when I started out coaching other runners, other trail runners who had health issues or injuries. And then as my journey evolved and my recovery became more spectacular, more than I even believed were possible, then things evolved, and I've just sort of opened up the doors to working with those who have got mind body symptoms where there's been no, they can't find a medical reason Doctors
Yeah.
can't find an answer. They're just telling them, sorry, you've just gonna have to live with this. And I'm just really drawn to working with those people now,
I
just
love it.
purely just because of my own personal experience. And now, I guess, because I know it's possible, because I've just seen this stuff to be working for myself, I'm just like, wow, yeah,
Absolutely. Like, I'm excited to hear how it goes with him because what I see in him too is the fact that he never gave up.
yeah.
He didn't buy into it. He wasn't going to accept. I have never talked to him, so I'm making this up,
Yeah, but
right?
it's good to hear what you think. Yeah.
What I see is he didn't accept those answers. He never bought into there's no cure for you, there's no hope for you. Give up.
Mm.
He's determined. And he knows that somewhere deep inside of him, I think that he has that knowing.
He must know. He must know because he keeps coming back every single week,
Absolutely.
and he's not working at the minute. And he does have doubt. He does have a lot of doubt because he keeps flipping between. He knows this. There's something within him like that's drawing him to knowing that this is the right path for him. So it's
Yeah.
brilliant. It's amazing that you heard that just from me describing the situation as well.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because other people would say to him, have you got like however many $1,000? And they're talking massive, massive amounts. Well, I'm
Right.
sorry, but if you don't have that, I can't help you.
Right.
And 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 he'd already exhausted a lot of those options.
I
And
bet.
but yeah, I'll definitely keep you updated on progress.
Yeah. Because I see it for him just because, oh my
We,
gosh.
we know he can get well, and
Mm-hmm.
we know what's
Absolutely.
possible. So we just have to be really calm and patient about it, and have no agenda when we're
Absolutely.
sharing. But yeah, I did get the idea about doing like a more intensive rather than spreading it out over weekly.
Yeah.
Because I just kind of got a good feeling about doing it that way. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I I like that too. The more intensive, with him. Yeah, because you know what? Like we know, I know what a 3-day intensive is. So yeah, it gives less time for him to listen to old thought patterns or ego or anything that's trying to keep him stuck right where he is. So I think that 3-day intensive is going to be magical because do you know what I'm saying? He has less when we see somebody one week and then we see him another week. Well, they've got
yeah,
that whole week to um, go ahead and return to living outside in instead of
hmm
inside out
yeah.
and take on, new little doubts in their head and say, oh,
That's exactly
okay.
it. That's exactly what's been happening, because
Hmm.
it takes a good hour, 90 minutes to slow down and then finally calm down. And then he'll go back, and then, like you say, go back to the outside and go back to blaming the food
Hmm.
for causing the issue, blaming other things, blaming family, blaming exes, blaming all these things from outside.
Right.
That's the reason again, even though, yeah, yeah, that was why the idea popped up. Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Because,
it.
like you
I'm
say, there's
excited for that.
less likely to go get gra- uh, hooked back into that misunderstanding on what's really going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's so cool. I love it. And yeah,
yeah.
I'll be excited. So yeah. Don't worry if you don't remember, I'll be saying, "Oh, hey Joe, how's
Oh,
it going?"
yeah. I will. I will. I will. I'll let you know.
Absolutely. Because yeah,
We're not gonna have chance to do this 3-day thing until September after the summer holidays.
that's okay.
Um, but we're just gonna keep in touch, doing what we're
Yeah,
doing until then. But
good.
even just having that there, even having that there is going to be a good thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because those fresh ideas are always available to us in clarity, obviously, when we slow down, just, and those fresh ideas can take us beyond the feeling of stuck. And yeah, I'm right now, I'm just really loving like what you're doing with him because, oh, I can't wait for him to be. I know we helped draw it out, so I can't wait for him to be his own success story, you
Yeah,
know? His
yeah,
own, this is what happens with people when you don't give up, when you don't feed those thoughts of it's not possible for me. Well, the doctor said this, the expert said that, this is just how it is. It's not going to change. I could go on for a really long time with
yeah,
examples of those. And I just love that. Yeah, we are our own success stories, right? We're the ones who decide, not somebody else. We're the ones who decide, you know what? I'm not staying in bed anymore. But I like, this goes way back to earlier in our conversation. I do like where you say, hey, you know what? It is okay to honor those things. If you want to
yeah.
spend a day in bed, go
The
ahead.
self-care, the self-care stuff, it's just an act of kindness to yourself, isn't it? And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but
It's just when we misconstrue that and we spend, you know, weeks and months in bed or, that doesn't even have to be in bed, just in isolation in our head. That's
yeah,
where that's where the problems, so to speak, occur because we
yeah,
just feel like we're chained. Well, and this is my visualization kind of what, kind of happens in that man's case. And in the case of people who just feel, stuck in life is like somebody at one point, right, said something, well, that's not possible, right? So you've got this chain here now that's
oh
holding you
yeah,
back. And then someone else says something, and well, you've got this chained. And before you know it, all these things that you're taking in they're not even your thoughts. They're being told to you by someone else outside of you. Now I can just imagine a body that has so many chains
yeah. Just they're just
pulling it
weighing you
backwards.
down.
Yeah, like how could you possibly think, you do get to a point where you think to yourself, it's impossible to move from here. This is just the way it is. This is just how it's going to be. And I'm just going to have to deal with it. And oh my gosh, when you can flip the switch I know you use that in your own story, but truly it is what it is, guys. Flip the switch. When you
Yeah,
get
did
a
I call it
glimpse.
a pancake? Flip a pancake.
Yeah, you did. So flip it, flip
Only
that
because I
pancake.
love pancakes.
You know what? So do a lot of other people. So I liked that. I love pancakes. So yeah, flip that pancake because you know what happens if you leave that pancake on one side too long?
Ooh,
It
it's
gets
not good.
burned, it gets nasty, it gets really gross, and it is no good. You got to flip that pancake. Keep it
Yeah.
fresh. I love it so much. And your story is a great one. Your story is a great one because, yeah, from your car accident and all the pain, the chronic pain that occurred, and that you had, like you said, your leg, your back, your neck, your jaw, like so many different
All of it, yeah.
areas.
They diagnosed me with fibromyalgia,
Yeah, and then
and
that's
I
all
dropped that.
over.
I dropped the diagnosis, and I decided that that's not relevant to me.
I love it.
And that was a big important part of recovery as well. Like no longer talking about that, no longer mentioning that, because for a long period of my life, I literally spent a lot of time telling anyone and everyone that would listen about my
Hmm.
pain and about my struggling. And I'm sure people got sick of hearing it, but I'd just tell anyone and everyone. It always seemed to come into a conversation because I don't know. I just seemed to have this thing about sharing that. I felt the need,
Yep.
and strangely, that was a big part of starting to recover, was stopping doing that, because those thoughts then didn't crop up anymore. And now I don't wake up and like the first thing I ever thought about was pain. Is it there? Is it there? Checking, checking. The thoughts consume you like 24/7, even during your sleep. And now I don't wake up and think that now. That's faded away. It happened really gradually. And that was amazing because that allowed for that. That allows me to come up with much better ideas when I wake up and wander to the toilet. I have my biggest moments of, oh, I need to do this. Oh, I should do
Yeah,
that. So now that I'm no longer consumed by thinking about pain and symptoms and fighting and being in a boxing ring, keep on getting punched, um,
yeah,
that's created so much more space for more. Um, so
absolutely.
it's amazing, really, how it works. Um, but yeah, I'd never say that it happened um, in an instant, but the mindset shift and the motivation of going from a difficult force yourself. I did it, but I wouldn't say I was motivated. To being really motivated to double that up and do a marathon was just a miraculous
Yeah,
difference. And that's available for everybody because I'm no different. I'm just
absolutely.
a normal, nearly 43-year-old woman with two teenagers. And yeah, that was with no special training, no special anything. It was the day 2 of the course. And I just saw it in that moment. I just noticed, oh, can it really be that simple? Can it really be that simple?
I love it.
It was, yeah, so grateful for that. Um, and the man leading the training, I couldn't stop thanking him, and he's probably thinking, "Wow, I don't know
Right?
what happened there, but I don't normally have that reaction on people."
I know, that's awesome. That's awesome. And it is, that's the thing, is that's where I think people get so caught up when with this or with listening, to to any of us and thinking to themselves, well, can't be that simple. It really is that simple.
Mm,
It really is. That shifts inside you, that shift in awareness, that shift in thinking. And it's not something that you have to force. It's something that just it happens when you see that it is
yeah,
your thought.
when you stop trying to fix, when you stop trying to do the outside in stuff, when you
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah, when I stopped looking for a reason because it was just there all
Hmm.
along. And I was like, gotta try this, gotta do this, gotta go do that, gotta do this. Um, I even for a while got a bit fooled that running was the only thing that were helping, but it's not permanent and long lasting. And
Yeah.
that's the thing when you have your own realization, that's going to supersede anything that anyone will ever share with you or any belief that anyone will ever give to you because you own that and it's permanent and it's powerful because it can't be ever it once you've seen it, you've seen it, you can't unsee, can you?
Yes.
It's like it's that same thing. I guess everyone's had those experiences where you notice something and then you just can't stop seeing it.
Right.
It's the same thing really, but
Yeah.
with the thought. Yeah.
Thought in our human experience. Yeah. With both. I love it. Ah, my
Yeah.
gosh. I had
Yes.
a question. I don't know what it was. See? Haha.
Oh, don't worry. It will remember. We'll remember. There's also always so much to share in these conversations. But yeah, just please make sure that I've shared if you've got any more questions, like with regards to the motivation or that kind of thing, just ask away. Um,
Oh, you know what I wanted to say?
yeah,
And I just because I want to point this out for other people really quick. When you did have all that chronic pain, right? And you decided to go running
yeah,
and when you were running, you didn't feel the pain.
No, I
You
didn't.
ran, you didn't feel the pain. And
No.
so something I kind of wanted to point to others is that, and I'm just guessing, okay, but it's more than likely because you were in a space, right, where your thinking was settled.
Yeah.
You were running, doing something that you
Yeah.
enjoy, and you weren't allowing that capacity of, oh, you can't do this, oh, this hurts, oh, maybe you need to stop. You weren't thinking about what it's going to feel like the next day. In
Yeah.
that moment of running with that pain, you didn't have any pain. And I think that in itself is a testament to our thinking and our thoughts, because had you did any of those did any of that running, marathons, ultra marathons, any of it, before, pain started dissipating,
Hmm.
if you had any of those thoughts while doing any of those things, I don't know that you would have completed the marathons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
Like, if
I
you would have been
wouldn't
like,
have.
oh, my back.
Yeah, that's it. I wouldn't have been able to do it if I'd have had those levels of pains during the activity itself. But it was what was going on within my mind and my
Mhm,
thoughts that, however the system works, there was some messages saying, she's good. There's no
mhm,
danger right now. Joe's moving. She's out there and she's running and wow. And
yeah,
because it felt good and it felt a relief and I'm not having that thinking. So
yeah,
100% connected. And that's where I think some people get really fooled that it's the running that's the fix. And then they panic if they can't do it. But I always say to people, it's not the running, it's never the activity. It's what's happening in your mind while you're doing that activity. So you could
yeah,
feel just as good um, whilst sitting at the kitchen table, you know.
yeah,
Um, but I always had the misunderstanding at the time that it was that in the beginning
mhm,
of the journey. So maybe that's why I kept going back for more and more and more.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but um, but yeah, like clearly when you're running, you have other sensations. So when I say it's not hurting, you have sensations like
Absolutely.
human pain, I'll call it. It's different to chronic pain. It's different feelings and different things, but it's gone. It's just quick, come and go. Nothing that's going to be coming back and not leaving you.
Right.
Um, so yeah, so during the times that I'm running, I'm not going to say I didn't feel any pains, but I didn't feel the chronic pains. I didn't feel the that those pains were gone, which is
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely evidence and proof about what's really going on.
Yeah.
Because clearly there were no alarm bells ringing saying there's a problem here. It's notifying me. It's getting my attention to say your thoughts are going off track, or you're worrying about this, you're fearing this too much. Yeah, you, yeah. So yeah, I hope that helps then to explain that a bit more with the running. But clearly, I'm not just a runner. I just love doing anything active. And like you
Absolutely.
said, I've recently done that skating half marathon, which remember
Yeah. That's
done on
so cool.
rollerblades, children's inline rollerblades. I did that on against the pros. They all had leotards on and speed skates, but I had teenagers roller rollerblades. But hey, I did all right. I couldn't keep up with them. They were really quick and smooth. Although I did well, and
Yeah.
and I only came first in my age group because I was the only person in my age group. So
Love it.
I'm pleased with that. I would just
Yeah.
share for the experience because that's one other thing I wanted to share. Um, Having that, like they call it, some people call it outcome independence. Like you don't care about the outcome because you know that no matter what the outcome is, it doesn't affect my health or well-being. Like when you can truly get to that point of not being connected to an outcome, whether that's whether you do want to like get back active and be motivated to do a certain thing, that's one thing that in hindsight I look back on, and I was never I was always outcome independent without realizing. And that's why when I went for the 100-mile ultra, I believe I did it because I was not attached to the outcome,
I
because I
love it.
just didn't really care one way or the other. I'm like, I've gone through all of these years of pain, and I'm just grateful that I'm able to even do this for a start. And if it happens, then I'm just going to be so excited. But if it doesn't happen, I'm still going to be excited. And that's a choice we have. Like, we've got a choice which story, like you said about stories that we create. Well, we create our own story, and we have the power and the choice really to choose a better version. And so I had no doubt that it wasn't going to be a good outcome. And but yeah, I didn't get like too obsessed about it. And I didn't have a really strict routine and regime and diet plan and all these things that would have been so overwhelming and hard to stick with. So I've always gone explorer style, where there's no strict pressure. And I've always found that really useful as well, because it's just always allowed me to feel motivated. Because I'm not, maybe there has been occasions when I've been strict and I've done a really strict SMART goal, but it's made me be even less motivated. So I just found that flexible, easygoing explorer approach where I'm just going to go for this because it feels good, just because I can, and I'm grateful. That seems to have been what's been helpful for me. Yeah, and other people that I've helped doing ultra marathons and big big challenges, that have adopted the same approach have been more successful than the ones that I've seen being regimented um, and it seems to be a good approach, a fun approach, and an enjoyable approach, just to live in life. Yeah.
Great thing to leave people to think about too. So yeah, it's so much better when we're not attached to the outcome, because what that does is it takes away unnecessary stress that we would be putting on ourselves. When you're attached to
Yeah.
the outcome, there's so much more stress, and then so much more thinking, and then so much more of that negativity and going, too fast in your mind, and no clear thinking coming through at all. So I
Mhm.
love, yeah, that you brought that up. Not being
Yeah.
attached to the outcome, not
Yeah.
caring either way.
Something else I just thought of was a way I heard it described. This was with, I think he's called Dr. Clark. He's a mind body doctor. He was a
Mhm.
gastro. Oh, I can't say the word, gastroenterologist. Um, but
Close enough, right?
he describes it as, for he uses a like an analogy of the an Olympic heavyweight lifter carry what they would carry, but then a person that may be experiencing additional challenges, whether that's anxiety, depression, chronic pain, chronic symptoms, is like giving them an extra however many £100 to carry. Like how you described it, it reminded me of that example that he used. But they don't realise they're carrying that massive extra burden. And if you are going to put that extra pressure on to be a certain place, and I'm here right now, but I should be there. As in, I'm here right now. I've managed to get to half marathon, but I should be at marathon, and I'm constantly carrying that extra massive burden. And it's such a big deal that I get there. Then we might not even realize we're carrying that because we've just carried it for so long, and we don't realize the detriment it's having on us. Um, but yeah, that was another big part of it. What I realized too was about focusing on the now, all that all you've achieved, and like you said, it takes a tough kind of person to come back and keep going and going despite these
Yeah.
additional challenges. If anything, you think you're weak, but you're stronger than you realise. The fact that
Yeah.
you're carrying that extra weight and doing things despite. So yeah, it's a nice way to look at it. But yeah, that's another big thing because I think most people will relate to that, thinking that I should be able to be here by now. Like the lady that I
Yeah.
was coaching earlier, it was career coaching, and she took a new job, believing that that was going to give her more opportunities to be promoted, and it ended up being she took a pay cut and then got stuck, and she's now regretting I should be here now, but I'm
Mhm.
here, and I talk with her a lot about that. If you're forever focusing on where you think you should be, you're always going to be fueling those thoughts of lack of, oh, I've not got to where I should be, but look at where you've gone. And yeah, it just always brings you back to present, doesn't it? Being
Yes, it does.
in the moment, in this moment. And like we always say in three principles style, there is the past as exist, that the past no longer exists.
Yeah.
Does the future exist? And then it always brings us back to, oh, we've only got this moment. And I love
Just
that
right now.
too. I really liked that. When I first heard that, that was for me, were just, I spent a little while like trying to work it out, thinking, does the past exist? And then I'm like, I'm going around in circles a little bit. I was like, oh, I really like that. Because we do really
Yeah.
have now. So it's what happens right now that matters most.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we can chat forever, me and you, can't we?
I know. I know. So you know what? I love that right there. We're gonna leave it for people right there to realize that that's what you have.
Yeah,
It's right now. That's it. Right now. What you choose to do with it. Ah, it's
yeah,
up
that's
to
a
you.
good place to leave it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I know I had you do this last time, but I'll have you do it again. If anybody would like to get in touch with you, what is the best way for them to do so?
Oh, I need to practice this, don't I? You can get me on Facebook, Joanne Lee Smith with an LEE. I'm on Instagram. I think I'm on YouTube. Um, I'm on all of those social medias, but I also have a website at the minute, which is www.joanneleesmith.com. And in the future, I'll share with you my new website, which is just in being created. So I've not got that finished yet.
No
And that
fun.
this new website will be my new approach to coaching. The other website um, is predominantly aimed towards athletes, trail runners. But there's lots of information on there about me. There's my story, which is a little out of date now because it was written probably about 2.5 years ago. So there's big updates to that coming. But yeah, the website or on social media. I'd love to hear from anyone that does want to chat.
I love it.
So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you. Thank you for, yeah, just being exactly who I knew you would show up to be yourself
Thank
and sharing your beautiful story and sharing, the client you're working with and just, you know, just your experience.
yeah.
And it's a beautiful one that ties these two together. So, yeah, I will be starting my next mini series on that whole feeling stuck and that lack of motivation that doesn't really exist, guys. It only exists if you think it does.
Mm,
And
that's
yeah.
exciting.
Mm.
Oh, brilliant. The only other one thing to share is the group. I have a Facebook group, a private group called
Yes.
Bend and Snap Trail Therapy Tribe. So if anyone wanted to join that group, I go live once a week and I do a 30-minute, I call it an off-trail training session. And I do that
Right.
every Tuesday. So you'd be more than welcome to join that too.
Absolutely. Joanne, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I love talking to you.
Me too.
I
I
gotta
enjoy.
I have to cut us off because I know we'll keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, we're going to cut off now, but thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, oh, thank you so much. And I'm just truly grateful for you sharing once again your amazing story. It's awesome. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
anybody who wants to reach out to her, I will put that in the comments and we will see you next time.
Bye.